when you hear the name Steve Jobs, words like genius, visionary, or revolutionary come to mind. But there's another name that often is overshadowed in the Apple origin story: Steve Wozniak, the engineer, the actual builder, the quiet mind behind the machine. Today we're pulling back that sleek aluminum curtain to reveal the untold story: how Steve Jobs mistreated, undermined, and profited off the man who made Apple possible. It all starts before Apple. In the early 1970s, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs discovered a way to freak phone systems using a device called the Blue Box, a gadget that could mimic phone system tones and allow users to make free long-distance calls. Wozniak designed it, built it, engineered every detail. Jobs? He saw dollar signs. They sold dozens of units. Jobs made the money. Woz made the tech. But here's the kicker: Jobs never told Woz just how much profit he was making. It was an early warning sign, a pattern of exploitation that would repeat itself. Fast forward to 1975, Jobs takes a consulting gig at Atari. He's tasked with creating a single-player version of Breakout, but he knows he can't do it alone. So he calls Woz. Wozniak, ever the loyal friend, stays up for 4 nights straight building the game's hardware. It's a miracle of engineering. Atari is blown away. Jobs tells Woz they got paid $700 total, but that was a lie. The truth? Jobs received $5,000. He gave Woz just $350. This wasn't a mistake. That wasn't business. That was betrayal. And that's the tragedy. Woz didn't even care about the money, but Jobs knew, and he lied anyway. When Apple was founded in 1976, it was Wozniak's Apple I that launched the company. Woz built the first computers by hand. He didn't just design the motherboard, he engineered the entire architecture. Jobs? He marketed it. And yet, when venture capitalists came knocking, Jobs pushed Woz to the background. When Apple went public in 1980, Jobs secretly withheld stock options from many early employees. Woz? He gave away $10 million worth of his own shares to make it right. Jobs never did. As Apple exploded in popularity, so did the myth of Steve Jobs. Books, documentaries, movies. But in nearly every portrayal, Woz was relegated to the background, a footnote in the saga of Jobs. Even when Woz invented the Apple II, arguably the product that saved Apple and brought in 90% of its early revenue, Jobs was the one credited. Jobs even convinced Woz to leave Apple during the Lisa and Macintosh era, telling him his time was done. Behind closed doors, Jobs reportedly dismissed Woz as a brainiac who didn't understand marketing. Even in Walter Isaacson's authorized biography of Jobs, Woz is barely given respect. His contributions are reduced and sanitized. In later years, Jobs would publicly mock Wozniak's naivete and call him not a businessman. When Wozniak appeared on Dancing with the Stars in 2009, Jobs reportedly told his friends it was embarrassing. And yet, Woz remained loyal. Let that sink in. A man exploited, sidelined, and minimized still called his betrayer great. That's not just loyalty, that's grace. Steve Jobs once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower, but the question is, who did the innovating?" Jobs was the face, but Woz was the foundation. He was the wizard behind the curtain, the builder of dreams, and the unsung hero in Apple's billion-dollar story. And while history may remember the turtleneck and the keynote, we remember the soldiering iron and the silence. Steve Wozniak was mistreated, exploited, and forgotten, but never defeated.